Okay, chapter 2. Just so you know, when they say once upon a time, they're lying. It's not once upon a time. It's not even twice upon a time. It's hundreds of times, over and over, every time someone opens the pages to this dusty old book. Oliver, my best friend, says, checkmate. I follow Frum's gaze and stare down at the chessboard, which isn't really a chessboard at all. It's just squares scratched into the sand at Ever After Beach, and a bunch of accommodating fairies who don't mind acting as pawns, bishops, and queens. There isn't a chess set in this story, so we have to make do with what we've got. And of course, we clean up all the evidence when we're done, or else someone might assume there's more to the story than what they know. I can't remember when I first realized that life, as I knew it, wasn't real. That this role I performed over and over was just that, a role. And in that order for me to play it, there had to be another party involved, namely one of those large, round, flat faces blurred in the sky every time our story begins. The relationships you see on the page aren't always as they seem. When we're not acting our parts, we're free to go about our business. It's quite complicated, really. I'm Prince Oliver, but I'm not really Prince Oliver. When the book is closed, I can stop pretending that I'm interested in Seraphima, or that I'm fighting a dragon, and instead I can hang out with Crump, or taste the concoctions Queen Maureen likes to dream up in the kitchen, or take a dip in the ocean with the pirates, who are actually quite nice fellows. In other words, we all have lives outside of the lives we play when a reader opens the book. For everyone else here, that knowledge is enough. They're happy repeating the stories endlessly and staying trapped on stage even when the readers are gone. But for me, I've always wondered. It stands to reason that if I have a life outside this story, I think that person is trying to say he has a life outside this story too. So do the readers' faces that float above us. I think he's applauding. They're not trapped inside the book. So he's like, I'm trapped! Oh no! Help me! They're not trapped inside the book. So where exactly are they? What do they do when the book is closed? Once a reader, a very young one, knocked the book over and it fell open on a page that has no one but me written on. For a full hour, I watched the other world go by. These giant stacked bricks made of wood with letters written on their sides, creating monstrous buildings. They dug their hands into a deep table filled with the same sort of sand we have on Ever After Beach. They stood in front of easels, like the one Raspicchio likes to use when he paints. But these artists use unique style. They dip their hands into the paint and smearing it across the paper in swirls of color. Finally, one of the others, who looked as old as Queen Maureen, leaned forward and frowned. Children, this is not how we treat books, beforehand, shutting me out. When I told the others what I had seen, they just shrugged. Queen Maureen suggested I see Orville about my strange dreams and asked for a sleeping potion. Crump, who is my best friend, both inside the story and out, believes me. What difference does it make, Oliver? Why waste time and energy thinking about a place or a person you'll never be? Immediately, I regretted bringing it up. Crump wasn't always a dog. He was written in the story as Figgins, my best buddy from childhood, who was transformed by Raspicchio from a person to a common hound, because he's only a flashback of text in the only time he's ever read he's seen as a dog. Nope. Which is why he stays in that form even when we're off stage. Crump captures my queen. Checkmate, he says. Why do you always beat me, I sigh. Why do you always let me, Crump says, and he scratches behind his ear. Stupid fleas! When we're working, Crump doesn't speak. He just barks. Pop, pop, pop. Actually, I can do a really good cat one. Meow, meow, meow. He follows me around like, well, a faithful pup. You never guess when he's acting that in real life he's always bossing around the rest of us. I think I saw a tear on the page of 47, I say as casually as I can. But I've been thinking of nothing but getting back there to investigate since first spotting it. Want to come check it out? Honestly, Oliver, not that again. Something. Frump rolls his eyes. You like a one-trick pony, and he does a cartwheel. Did you call me? Soft trots closer. He's my trusty seed, and again, a shining example of how what you see isn't always true. Although he snorts and stamps with the confidence of a stallion on the pages of our world, when the book is closed, he's a nervous mess with the self-confidence of a gnat. I smile at him, because if I don't, he's going to think I'm angry at him. He's that sensitive. Well, aren't we all? No, we didn't. I distinctly heard the word pony. It was just an expression, Frump says. Well, now that I'm here, tell me the truth, Sock says, turning around the half circle. This saddle really totally makes my butt look fat, doesn't it? No, I say immediately, as Frump vigorously shakes his head. You're all muscle, Frump says. In fact, I was going to ask you if you were working out. You are just saying that to make me feel better. I knew I should have had that last carrot at breakfast. You look great, Sock Sciences, honestly. But he tosses his mane and sulks towards the other side of the beach. Frump rolls on his back. If I have to listen to that stupid horse whine one more time. That's exactly what I'm talking about, I interrupt. What if you didn't have to? What if you could be anywhere, anything you wanted to be? I have this dream. It's kind of silly. But I see myself walking down a street I've never seen before, in a village I can't identify. A girl hurries past me, her dark hair whipping behind her like a flag, an American flag, or a Cuban flag, or an Australian flag, Canadian flag. In her haste, she crashes into me. When I reach up to help her, I feel a spark ignite between us. Her eyes are the color of honey, and I cannot turn away from them. Finally, I say, and when it makes me feel guilty every time I kiss her, because I know she wants more from me than I'm... Wait, what? Hold on. Sorry. Finally, I say when I kiss her, she tastes of mint and winter and nothing like Seraphima. Seraphima smells like mustard. Not honey, Dijon. Yeah, right, Frump says, interrupting me. How many career opportunities are there for a basset hound? You're only a dog because you were written that way. What if you could change that? He laughs. Change it. Change the story. Yeah, that's a good one, Ollie. While you're at it, why don't you turn the ocean to grape juice and make the mermaids fly? Maybe he's right. Maybe it is just me. Everyone else in the book seems to be perfectly happy with the fact that they are part of a story, that they are enslaved into doing and saying the same things over and over, like in a play that gets performed for eternity. I think this guy's complaining because he kisses somebody in eternity. They probably think that the people in the other world have the same sorts of lives we do. I guess I find it hard to believe that readers get up at the same hour every morning and eat the same breakfast every day and go sit in the same chair for hours and have the same conversation with their parents and go to bed and wake up and do it all over again. Well, guess what, buddy? It sounds like a 30-year-old to me. I think more likely they lead the most incredible lives. And by incredulous, I mean with free will. That's true. The 30-year-old either chooses to get an orange or an apple in the morning before going to Microsoft. I wonder all the time what that would be like, to feel the book opening, yet not beg the queen to let me go on a quest, to avoid getting trapped by fairies and run ragged by a villain, to fall in love with a girl whose eyes are the color of honey, to see someone that I don't recognize and whose name I don't know. I'm not fussy, really. I wouldn't mind being a butcher instead of a prince. Oh, huh. Or swimming across the ocean to be hailed as a legendary athlete. Or picking a fight with someone who cuts in front of me. Oh, at the bodega. I wouldn't mind doing anything other than the same old things I have done for as long as I can remember. I guess I just have to believe that there's more to the world than what's inside these pages. Or maybe it's just that I desperately want to believe that. I glance around at the others. Look how pretty this is around here anyway. Between readings are real personality shows. One of the trolls is working on a melody on a flute that he carved from a piece of bamboo. The fairies are doing crossword puzzles that Captain Crab creates for them. but they keep cheating by looking into the wizard's ball. And Seraphima, she blows me a kiss. Of course, a smile. She's pretty, I suppose, with her silver hair and eyes the color of violets in the meadows near the castle, but her shoe size is bigger than her IQ. For example, she honestly believes that just because I say her over and over again as part of my job, I must really have true feelings for her. I'll be honest, it's not a hard day's work to kiss a beautiful girl repeatedly. What did I say? But it all starts feeling same old after a while. I certainly don't love Seraphima, but that little detail seems to escape her. Like the wind, like this little leaf. It makes me feel guilty every time I kiss her, because I know she wants more from me than I'm ever going to give her when the storybook is closed. Besides me, Front lets out a long, mournful howl. Oh! That's the second reason I feel so guilty kissing Seraphima. He's had a crush on her for as long as I can remember, and that makes it even worse. What must it be like watching me to pretend to fall in love with a girl he's crazy about day after day? I'm sorry, buddy, I say to him. I wish she just knew it was for show. Not your fault, he replies tightly. Just doing what you have to do. As if he's conjured it, there's suddenly a blinding light. Ah! And the sky cracks open along the seam. Places, Front cries frantically. Everyone, into your positions! He runs out to help the trolls dismantle the bridge, only so they can rebuild it again. I grab my tunic and dagger. The fairies who are chess pieces rise like sparks and write the words, "See you later," in the air before me, a trail of light as they zoom into the woods. Yes, and thanks again, I say politely, intent on hurrying to the castle for our first scene. What would happen, I wonder, if I was late? If I dawdled or stopped to smell the lilacs in the castle gate so that I wasn't in place when the book was open? Would it stay sealed shut, or would the story start without? Experimentally, I slowed my pace, dragging my heels. I have dry eyes. But suddenly I feel a magnetic tug from the front of my tunic propelling me through the pages. They rustle as I leap through them, my legs moving at double time, and I stare down amazed. I can hear Socks whining in his stall's royal stables, and the splash of mermaids as they go down, diving into the sea, and suddenly I'm standing where I'm supposed to be in court. It's about time, Front mutters. At the last moment, there's a brilliant slice of light that opens above us, and instead of looking away like we used to do, this time I glance back. I can see the reader's face, a little fuzzy around the edges, sort of how the sun looks from the ocean floor. I've seen it many times. It's pretty beautiful. And just when one stares at the sun, I can't make myself turn away. Oliver Frump hisses, "Focus!" So I turn away from those eyes. Spider! Off my book! The spider wants to be in the story. Okay, well, I'll have to live with it. So I turn away. Ah! I hope he doesn't get on me. Go away! So I turn away from those eyes, the exact color of honey. Ooh la 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 la! From that mouth, its lips parted just the tiniest bit, as if she's about to speak my name. Oliver! Oh, Oliver! I turn away, clear my throat, and for the 100th billionth time in my life, I speak the first line of the story. Save who? I did not write the lines I speak. They were given to me long before I remembered. I mouth the words, but the actual sound is in the reader's mind, not coming from my throat. Similarly, all the moves that we make as if we're performing a play somehow unravel across someone else's imagination as if it's the action and sound on our tiny remote stage being broadcast in the thoughts of the reader. You, my friend, you. Or listener, I guess. You. I'm not sure that I ever really learned this information. It's just something that I've known forever. The same way I know when I look at the grass and associate it with the color. I know that color is green. Or shorts, they're tie-dye. Pink and purple and blue and white. Cute, right? I let Respiglio convince me that he is a noble man from afar whose beloved daughter has been kidnapped, a speech I've heard so often that occasionally I murmur the words along with him. In the story, of course, he has no daughter. He's just setting a trap for me. But I'm not supposed to know that yet, even though I've played this scene 1,000 times. So while he's going on and on about the other princess who won't rescue Seraphima, I think about the girl who's reading this. I've seen her before. She's different from our usual readers. They're either motherly, like Queen Maureen, or young enough to be captivated by tales of princesses in peril. But this reader looks, well, she looks to be about my age. Doesn't make any sense. Surely she knows, like I do, that fairy tales are just stories, that happy endings aren't real. From waddles across the polished black and white marble floor, his tail wagging viciously as he skids to a halt beside me. Suddenly I hear a voice, distant through a tunnel, but clear now. Delia, I told you twice already, you're going to be late. From time to time I've heard readers talking. They don't usually read out loud, but every now and then a conversation occurs while a book is open. I've learned quite a bit from being a listener, like, for example, don't let the bed bugs bite is apparently a common way to say goodnight, even in rooms that don't appear to be infested by insects. Well, you know, they're kind of secretive. Watch out. I've learned about things in the other world has that we don't. Television, which is something parents do not like as much as books. Happy Meals, apparently not all meals bring joy. Just the ones that come in a paper bag with a small toy. And showers, something that you take before bedtime that leaves you drenched. Isn't that funny? Just let me finish, the girl says. You've read that book 1,000 times. You know how it ends. Now means now. Ugh. God, moms. I've heard this reader speaking to the older woman before. From their conversation, I'm guessing that's her mother. I bet, Dad. She is always telling Delia to put the book down and go outside, to take a walk and get some fresh air, to call a friend, though how many can one be within an earshot, and go to a movie, whatever that is. Repeatedly, I wait for her to heed her mother's directions, but most of the time she finds an excuse to keep reading. Sometimes she does go outside, but opens the book and starts reading again. Here we are. Although my eyes are the color of honey. Actually, one is blue and one is green. One's less green, or less blue now, but when I was younger they were, and when I were, anyway. I cannot tell you how frustrating this is for me. Here I am, wasting away inside a bush I wish I could escape, and all she wants to do is stay in the story. If I could talk to this girl, Delia, I'd ask her why on earth she would ever trade a single second of the world she's in for one like mine that I'm stuck. But I've tried talking out loud to other readers. Believe me, it was the very first thing I attempted when I started to actively dream about life in the other world. If I could just get one of those people holding the book to notice me, maybe I'd have a chance at escaping. You're not gonna escape! You're not gonna escape! However, the people in the book only see me when the story is playing, and when the story is playing, I'm compelled to stick to the script. Even when I try to say something like, please, listen to me! I wind up announcing instead, I'm on my way to rescue the princess, like some sort of puppet. If I've ever had a reason to believe that a reader could see me for who I really am, not who I play in the story, I'd do, well, anything. I'd scream on the top of my lungs. I'd run in circles. I'd light myself on fire. Anything to get her to see me. Can you imagine what it would be like to know that your life is just going to be a series of days that were all the same, that were do-overs? As Prince Oliver, I may have been given the gift of life, but I've never been given the chance to live. Coming, Delia says. You know, I tell you, one day I would like to live over and over again as the anniversary between me and my loving boyfriend. Coming, Delia says over her shoulder, and I exhale heavily. breathe, I haven't even realized I was breathing. Or holding. Breathing and holding, I guess. The thought of not having to go through the motions again, it's a gift. An absolute gift. There is a dizzying whirl of gravity just as the book starts to close, something we've all gotten used to. We grab onto details, like a candelabra and table legs, and in some desperate cases, the hanging tail of a letter G or Y, until the pages are completely closed. Well, I say, letting go of the drapery I was clutching, guess we got lucky off this. Before I can finish, however, I find myself heading head over heels as the pages are rifled through and our world reopens in the very last bit of the story. As if by magic, Seraphima is glittering beside me in her shimmering gown. Crumb has a wedding band tied to a silver ribbon around his neck. The trolls are holding the pillars of a bridal bower. The pixies have spun silken ribbons that wrap around them and blow in the sea breeze. The mermaids gather in the shallows of the ocean, watching us bitterly as we wed. I glance down, suddenly in a panic. Da-da-da! The chessboard! It's still there! The pixie chess pieces are gone, certainly, but the squares I drew in with a stick, the proof that there is life in this book when no one is reading, are still carved on the beach. I don't know why the book hasn't reset itself. It never makes mistakes like this. Every time we are flipped to a new page, we'll find ourselves ready, in costume, with any necessary set in place. Maybe, for all I know, this has happened before and I never noticed it. But it stands to reason that if I notice, someone else might notice too. Like the reader, Delia. Deep breaths, Oliver. I tell myself, I hiss. He growls, but I can understand clearly. Not now. Okay, Oliver, I tell myself. This is not a disaster. People read a fairy tale for the happy ending, not to hunt for a faintly visible chess piece scrabbled in the sand on the final page. Still, I try to pull Seraphima towards me in an attempt to hide the chessboard beneath the fabric of her billowing dress. Seraphima, however, misinterprets this to mean that I actually might want to get closer to her. She tilts up her chin and flutters her eyes, waiting for her kiss. Everyone's waiting. The trolls, the fairies, the mermaids, the pirates with their anchors lines tightly wrapped around Pyro the dragon to keep him subdued. The reader is waiting too. And if I give her what she wants, she'll close the book, and that will be that. Oh, fine. I lean forward and give Seraphima a kiss, winding my hands in her hair and pulling the length of her body along mine. I can feel her melt beneath my touch, leaning into me. She may not be my type, but there's no reason I shouldn't enjoy myself at work after all. Delia! As the girl leans closer, the sky darkens above us. How strange, she murmurs. Her fingers come down, pushing at the edges of our world, bending the scenery even as we stand in it. I draw my breath, thinking that she's going to trap me, but instead, she touches where the very spot where the chessboard is etched into the sand. That, she says, was never here before. So, next, chapter 3.